What's up, guys? Hope you are having a wonderful day today. It is that time of the week again, and it is for the House of the Dragon recap. And this is on episode 6, so I got a chance to watch it yesterday. They give it on Sundays, and I got a chance to watch it on Mondays because they give it kind of late on Sunday, and I have to work. So that's why, in case you guys were wondering. However, what did I think about this episode? Honestly, I'm so disappointed in Sir Christian and Alicent. I mean, in this episode, it takes place 10 years after the events of episode 5, after Rhaenyra and Lionel got married. And they're a lot older now and everything. In the beginning of the episode, Rhaenyra gives birth to a third son. And for some odd reason, the Queen, Alicent, wants to see the son, wants the son to be taken from Rhaenyra to bring her to see him. I would have said, tell the Queen to get her ass down here, because I just gave labor. She can bring her ass down here if she wants to see them. She can come and see me. I don't need to see her. Queen or no queen. You ain't taking my son. She could have said that, but you know what? No, I'm going to get my ass up. You want to see him? You ain't going to see my boy without me. It ain't happening. And how can I say, the 3 boys, she has 3 kids, and Alicent has 2 kids. She has Aegon and I forgot the other one's name. She has 2 boys and 1 girl. The daughter likes bugs. Aegon is an asshole. And the youngest brother is just, clearly is the youngest. It's kind of like the runt of the litter. Well, both Rhaenyra's sons and Aegon decided to play a prank on the youngest one and say, hey, we found you a dragon. Because they all have dragons. They were learning how to train their dragons. No pun intended. And they play a prank on him, say, hey, we got you a dragon. We felt bad you didn't have a dragon, so we got you one. They gave him a pig. So the little one, trying to prove himself, goes into deep within the dragon pit to try to tame one of the older dragons. And it doesn't work out. The mom, Alicent, sees this and goes, oh, those brats of Rhaenyra's brought them up to it, telling her husband, the king. And the king's like, don't you think, how do you not know it was them? How do you know it wasn't Aegon? The boys will be boys. They do that. Of course, like the mother would always protect her kid and believe her kids over the others. But let's get real here. You're the mother. Teach them right. If you're going to act like an asshole, they're going to see that. And Sir Christian is, how can I say? So the thing of it is, both these idiots, Alicent and Sir Christian, the thing of it is, Rhaenyra doesn't have to tell Alicent everything. Yes, they were friends, but she doesn't have to tell her everything. I mean, the relationship changed because now she is queen. However, no matter what, Rhaenyra is heir to the throne. Meaning, if the king dies, Alicent's no longer queen. She can keep the title, but she's not queen. Rhaenyra is, and her husband Lionel is. Meaning that whoever child they have, ascends to the throne after them. So she should be, how can I say, if I were her, I wouldn't get on Rhaenyra's side, because after what Alicent did, meaning she had dinner with Lears, who's obviously a troublemaker, who's obviously, an instigator, proposes to Alicent because Alicent is using him as a spy. And the word has gotten around that High Strong, the son of High Strong, Henry Strong, Henry Strong is possibly the sons, the fathers of Jace, and I can't remember the other kid's name. Possibly the father to them. And this came about because Henry calls out Christian. Because the thing of it is, let's get real. Sir Christian is loyal to the crown, meaning he is loyal to Rhaenyra, loyal to the queen, loyal to the king. So meaning he has to train everyone, not just Alicent's children, also Rhaenyra's children. That's why he gets called out. Like, oh, well, why should I train your pupils that are all your pupils? At the same time, Sir Christian feels betrayed by Rhaenyra. How? She told you what was going on. She told you, hey, I have to marry him. Duty or not, I have to. You know, love is not going to conquer wars. Love is not going to stop wars. The realms are watching. I have to do this. So the thing of it is, Lionel and I did an agreement. Lionel can keep his man, and I can keep you. But the thing of it is, Sir Christian says, no, I'm not feeling that. I don't want that. I don't want to be second best. I don't want to be whore. He chose. He chose. He said no. He can't get mad at her. And then comparing her to a spider that sucks everyone dry. How dare you, Sir Christian? You act like she just said, bye-bye. Don't need to do anything. That's so stupid. These kids are like, both Alicent and Sir Christian are acting like little bitches. And they band together, like the whole Mean Girls thing. Well, she did this to you, she did this to me, so let's band together to get her back. That's what that is. 10 years after the whole events of the freaking green wedding, people are calling it. You know, Alicent right then and there says, I'm raging war. For what? You got no allies. You got a troublemaker who you says, I want them gone. I want to do something with the high strongs, do this and that. You know, obviously Lyrs wants something because Lyrs ends up telling her, hey, I hired a murderer, a traitor to the crown, and a deviant. They'll get the job done. Like I said, the High Strong, this whole rumor of High Strong being the father of Rhaenyra's firstborn children is because after Sir Christian calls them out, he goes, okay, why don't we have these boys fight? And Sir Christian, obviously out of spite for Rhaenyra, tells Aegon, don't let him get up. Can't beat his ass. Don't let him get up. And of course, you know, High Strong breaks in and goes, oh, you touched me. You know, High Strong goes in, grabs Aegon off Jace, I believe. And Jace's like, you touch me ever again. Oh, he put his hands on the prince, blah, blah, blah. The king didn't come out and say anything because it's just like, let's get real here. What the hell is going on? Obviously, Sir Christian, quit acting like a little bitch and do your job. You're loyal to the ground. Teach all these kids. You know, you're not just loyal to Alicent. You're loyal to everyone else because, after all, you took an oath. Otherwise, you could have finished what you were doing before in the last episode or took off. Simple as that. But he gets the ship kicked out of him. He thinks it's funny because he mocks him and goes, or sons. Call it loyalty. Call it whatever you want. Obviously, you need to go. But like I said, the Strong family, you know, because the King's Hand, the father of Henry, wanted to resign, and the king says no. And Al's like, oh, tell us why. And he goes, I will not. And the king says, well, if you're not going to tell us, you're still going to stay here, my orders. Otherwise, shut up. Simple as that. Not only that, Rhaenyra tries to make peace with Alicent. They were at a war council, and Rhaenyra does tell, hey, we have bigger fish to fry. You know, why we left certain lands that belong to us defenseless. And Alicent's excuse is, well, we don't have the funds, we don't have this. You know, and I don't know, another spite. And Rhaenyra's proposal, hey, let's get real, let's stop this bullshit that we have between us. I don't know what I caused this, but you know, I do apologize. That's, you know, I can't remember if it was the newborn son or one of her sons. Let's combine our houses. Let's be strong, you know. And, you know, let's have one of my sons be betrothed to your daughter. And one of my dragons is pregnant. And your son can have a dragon egg for whoever of his choosing. I don't know. And then Alicent goes, see how Fox is all, you know, all humble because she's cornered? She wasn't cornered. She was like, let's just stop this stupidness. You know? And as the story continues, Rhaenyra is like, you know what? Tell goes up to her man, Lionel, her husband, Lionel, and goes, let's go. Let's go to Dragonstone. We should have left years ago. They want to go about talking about rumors of who the father of my kids are. Let them. I don't want to hear it. Let's go. So they end up going to Dragonstone. Daemon has a new wife, Lena, who is the sister of Lionel. They have 2 daughters and a baby on the way. They are guests at some king's palace who wants them to continue to stay with them. You know, you have dragons, we can combine forces. You're more than welcome to stay here. Lena is not too happy about that. She wants to leave and go back home, but Daemon says no. Then history starts to repeat itself because Lena is in labor, but obviously is having trouble birthing the child. She's having some complications. So like in the first episode, how King Varys had a choice between the child and the mother, it's seen that Daemon has that choice too. Lena, not wanting to share the same fate as her aunt, gets out of the birthing chamber or gets out of the room and goes to her dragon and basically is telling the old girl, you know, Jakata's, you know, fire. Obviously, the old girl is, you know, reluctant to do so, but ends up doing it and killing Lena, not wanting to share the same fate. Daemon watches this because he went to go after her, goes, Lena, come on, let's go, we'll figure this out. He ends up watching the demise of his wife and can't seem to comfort his girls because one of the girls feels like they are ignored by their father, ignored by Daemon. So that's his plot line. Along with Alicent. Well, like I said, Alicent has a spy, which is Larys, and Larys does hire people to take down the Strong because she says, you know what, he wants to leave, get him. But obviously doesn't understand what she asked for because everything that we ask for comes at a price, and Larys has a price. So basically, both the Strong family are, because they went away, they are basically burnt to death in their homes because of the cicada team. Because they have a brooch of a cicada, which happens to be the same symbol as on Larys' cane. So they finish the job, and Larys says, "Oh, the job's done." She's like all like hurt and shocked, and like, I didn't want this. He goes, of course you did. Otherwise you wouldn't have commanded it. You know? Now she owes him. He goes, I'm sure you'll reward me someday. You know, I'm sure when you'll return the favor. I'm sure when I ask for my reward, you'll give it to me. You know, blah, blah. I see you're going to ask your father or something. You know, you're going to run to your father. She goes, no. And he's like, okay, whatever. You will give me what I asked for when the time comes. You know, and I'm like, Alicent, you got yourself in trouble because if Rhaenyra ever finds out you killed the father of her sons, she's going to kill you right then and there. And obviously her brat kids don't seem to want it because she's, you are so stupid. You are the challenge. If she gets to the throne, you know, our fates are sealed. You sealed your own fate. You know, in a way, I hope Rhaenyra does find out so Alicent can be humble. I don't know. We'll see what happens in episode 7. Because now they've done the time jump. What did I think about this episode? Honestly, so disappointed with the 2 characters. I've already explained it. But overall episode, it looks like it's going back to its roots, like in the first episode. Because, well, now they're older. Things have changed. Everything's at stake now. So we're going to see what the 7th episode is going to be. So we'll all be watching. Well, that's it. That's the recap or review, however you want to call it. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out there. All right. Bye.